Canva makes it easy to create professional designs and to share or print them. And in this video, I want to give you a beginner walkthrough on how to use Canva. So once you've made it to their landing page and to their homepage, you want to click on the sign up button because as you're a beginner, I suppose you don't have an account yet. So once you're on the sign up page, you can either continue with one of these options or in another way. I will continue with Google because it's the most convenient one and it's the one I always use. And I will see you on the other side. So once you've completed your sign up process, you will probably be prompted with a page looking something like this. This is a simple questionnaire that Canva does for themselves to get more feedback on the type of person that uses their service and software. So it doesn't matter what you'll answer. I will go with the personal option right here. You could try Canva Pro for free, but since this is a beginner tutorial and you don't need the Pro version at all, I will go on maybe later. I also don't want to receive any email notifications, so I click on Not Now. And now we see this nice confetti. So we made it. Let's get started with a nice design. So as you can see right here, these are the basic settings and most of the stuff you probably will never use. So for example, this entire top bar with these all things, all of the stuff here, you will never use. Then you could potentially download the app on your smartphone or on your desktop, but the browser works just fine. And here we have some settings. Let's have a look at the settings page. So right here, you could change settings like your profile photo, name, email, and the theme. Of course, I'm voting for the dark theme because dark always works best. No, I just personally have a villain arc against any other theme than light. So dark is always my personal preference to go with. Yeah, and all of the stuff you could basically leave the default options. Messaging I always personally turn off because I don't want to receive any marketing emails, messages, all of that stuff. So that always and already concludes our design settings. Okay, so what do we have on the side panel right here? We have our home, in which we are right now. We have project folders that we can create or save designs into projects. We have templates, brand, and apps. Let's just look at projects and designs. So right now, we don't have any project. And because we don't have any project, we can add one new right here. So let's add a folder. Let's call this folder tutorial. And in this folder, we will organize and put our first ever design. Let's get started with designing. We will collapse the main menu to make it as simple as possible. That's why I'm always a huge fan of these simple softwares that also work flawless in the browser. And let's click on this nice colored button, create a design. So now we are prompted with a lot of suggestions what we want to design. And you can see it is pretty simple. Let's first have a look at start creating from your media. So we can either start designing something with a custom size or import a file like an image and then design on top of this image. So the aspect ratios already get set for us. And here you have also great suggestions that are common design themes where people use these aspect ratios to design. These ratios are always dated in pixels. So for example, 1920 by 1080 is HD and 4K would be double that. Just a random side fact. And if we have something, for example, like square, then the resolution will always be the same to numbers, of course, because length and width or both aspect or both ratios is like a 1-to-1. Okay. So what should we design? Let's get started with a presentation. Then I will only click on this presentation button and the magic of Canva works and now we made it. We want to skip the tour because we are already pros when you're watching this. And this is the entire design suite from Canva. It's great. So, okay. We don't, again, need all of these top functions right here. We can add a title, for example, tutorial presentation. We can save it actually in our file or in our project folder. If you go to save to folder and then tutorial, now our tutorial presentation is added to our tutorial folder. And if we are on it, let's have a look at the file settings. So create a new design, that's what we just did, so no need to create another one. You can import files like images, but this also is the same button like this upload one, so no need to do anything right here. Settings, this page is pretty interesting, so I recommend you to click on this, show rulers and guides. You can also see like the combination that you can press on your keyboard to activate the rulers and guides. And if you do that, you have a more like sleeker overview of like pixel aspect ratios and how much spacing there is left and that kind of stuff. So if you want to feel like a true designer, definitely show rulers and guides. You can add guides manually, so no need to do that. Show margins, show print bleed, leave them as is. So all changes are saved. This is great. We don't want to make a copy. We can download up here, so no need to use that right here. We can view comments, but since we are designing alone, we don't need to comment on our own designs. So this entire section is done. This also, we don't want to try Pro. This is just simply, if you share this with someone else over this button, we can see that they have access on top of here. We can present it because, well, it is a presentation. So if you click present, you have the different options to present your design. And on the share button right here, it gets interesting. So for example, you can share the link so other people get invited and can see your design, and maybe for real-time collaboration, or if you want to present it to someone on your team or family members, whatever. Then down here you have this download button. So if you want to download your design, you have all of these options. Because our design is empty, we cannot download it yet, but if you add something to your design, then you can choose the file type. For example, should it be a PNG, a PDF, or a PowerPoint format, so a .pptx. You can choose the file format for your download. Okay, this is basically it. You can also print your designs or share it on social, but I think these are pretty much self-explanatory. We are here to design, not to export. But if you want to export at any time, the share button, top right corner, is your best friend. So let's get onto the side panel. Can we hide it? No, we can only expand this one. Okay, so here we have the design panel with templates, so pre-made designs. Well, I think this is pretty self-explanatory. You can click on any one of these and then they instantly get added. So if we want to apply all 11, well, now we did. So we can wrap it up. We finished designing, that's it. No, this is just inspiration and work from other people. So you can get inspired, but you can also start from scratch. But this helps you to not start from zero. And these layouts and styles, they are pretty much useless. So they are for advanced features if you have, for example, brand colors and you want to keep everything on brand and change the colors automatically. But this also just works like really well on a paid plan. So no need to use that. On the Elements tab, we can see all elements that Canva comes with out of the box. And you can see there are a lot. So you have shapes, graphics, AI options. For example, if you want to remove a background of something, this also works better or at all in the Pro version. You can add videos to your presentation, even audio, which is great. And something like moving images, so GIFs or GIFs. This is another file format, or static images, for example, like just a PNG or JPEG. Then of course you can add text with simple stuff, but we will have a look at that in a second. Here is the brand section, which you can see is fully just for Pro users, but there you could automatically, if you have a design, in one click rebrand it. So your font styles, your pixel ration, so how big is this introduction text block, or which color is the background, this gets all applied automatically with one button press. Here you can upload files. So for example, if you have a image that you definitely want to use and haven't found a better one in Canva's like Elements page, for example, then you can custom upload anything here. This just opens your local file directory and there you can drag and drop it up to Canva and then you can use it in Canva. Here you can custom draw, but well, we don't need it right now. There you have the folder structure, as I already talked about. And here you have other apps, for example, Dolly to customly generate an image with artificial intelligence. This is pretty nice, but yeah, you probably won't use as a beginner. So let's scroll to the end, or maybe we can also delete the designs. You do that by hovering on a design, clicking on the 3 buttons, and then delete. You can get rid of all of the example designs that I've just created. And it goes even farther or faster with your delete key. So now we are back on our blank page. Okay, so as with any other design, let's collapse this one. We can change the background color, pretty simple. We can either use a solid color, a gradient color, or up here we could customize it. So if you want to have any specific color, then we can do it up here. Okay, so let's design something. What should we design? Maybe like a presentation slide. That is the first page. So this is now our background color. You can also here set a timing, for example, how long this page should be shown. And well, here you can see all of the elements that you add to your page. So for example, if this is our page, then we want to get started, for example, then we drag on this title here. It's just drag and drop. You see it just comes out. And what's great with Canva is it automatically shows you, if I drag it around here, where you can position it. For example, right now it is perfectly aligned from left to right and from top to bottom. So it's perfectly centered right now in the image. And another great feature Canva has is if I drag it again, you will see this box shape appearing right now. This box shape is essentially 10% of your aspect ratio from any side. So for example, if we have 1080 pixels in height, then this box appears after 108 pixels from the top, 108 pixels from the bottom. So this are, by the way, is the rulers feature. So if you ever want to grab a ruler, you can hover over here. You see how my mouse changes. Then you can drag it onto the image, and then here on your left, you can see how many pixels you've just ruled in. For example, right now, if it goes in, we can see that right now we have marked 540 pixels, so perfectly half of 1080 pixels. And if you want to get rid of them, you can just drag them out, let go, and they are vanished forever. Okay, so this is our font, for example. Game on, does it say. And now you have these 3 handy options. For example, right here, you can lock the page. So now if I want to drag and change anything that does not work, so let's unlock it because we want to drag it around. Then we can duplicate the page. So we just make a copy. Now it's called page 2. This was page 1. Now, for example, we can delete this page again. Pretty self-explanatory. The page gets deleted. I duplicate it again because I want to do something with the page. And right here, we can now adjust this text, for example. So if we apply and mark the on part of this text, you already see there are lots of text manipulation options where we can adjust the text to our personal preferences. So for example, I can change the font. So let's say I want to go with this font instead. And maybe I don't want to have it 248 points big, but maybe just like 100. Then I can change it right here. We can change the colors. So for example, maybe we want to have it in this dark gray. And remember, this only gets applied to the on part because I've just marked that with my cursor. Then we can optionally underline it or make a strike through and all of these different things. So here we can align the entire text box and stuff like that. So let's put it again here in the middle. And that's where we come from this design to something like this. And similar stuff also works. So let's create a new page manual. This always takes the same background color. Let's use an element this time, for example. Let's use some of these shapes. For example, this like square with rounded corners. I can drag and drop it in. It's pretty simple. And now I can adjust its color again individually. I can resize it in any way and in any manner. And I can position it always perfectly centered, or maybe with like 10% left space over here or to the top center. So the aligning and spacing is pretty nice. It's pretty like intuitive. And now I could put text on top here. So if I go with another text, and maybe I don't want to use a preset, so maybe I just want to go with a subheading as a default style, then it looks something like that. And I want to change the subheading, maybe, yeah, I'll leave it black. And now I can call this welcome, align it perfectly in the center of the square, maybe double the size to 100, and change the font to maybe something more fitting like Archive Black. We've just used this one for the on part. Now we have already made a simple design. Of course, if you want to get fancy with your designs, or if you don't have much time, you can always go for the template section, for the design section right here, and just import any great design style that suits you. For example, let's go here with dark. So we want to continue with a dark design. Let's go with this one. Then we can apply all of these pages, or maybe only just some of these pages. As you can see, with a hover effect, for example, some of them are already animated. This is pretty nice. So you can apply them. You want to replace all pages because our designs weren't that great. They were just there for demonstration purposes. And just like that, you have a great base to start working with. You have a fixed or a like branded font and color palette, which always references the same colors. You have great imagery, which of course you could exchange anytime for something that fits your liking more. Or you could also at any time change any font color or font style. For example, the typography is more of your liking if it's in this font, that kind of stuff. So everything is customizable. For example, I want to have the thank you in the middle instead on the top. All of this works. Okay. So can I show you something different? Yes, I can show you two more things. So first of all, we can now present because we have something we can present. So for example, let's present in full screen. You see these great animations. And well, it doesn't make sense to present from the 11th page. So let's get started from the first one. Let's present. These animations can be done customly. And now if you see, if I click, it looks great. It looks really professional. How all of this slides in. This can be animated. And yeah, this can be done with like these animation icons. So here you can quickly animate everything to your liking. So for example, if I want to keep it like that, now I want to present this page. Everything gets animated and looks like as if we would have put a lot of effort into this design, even though it was just a template that we customized to our liking. And now we can also download it. So for example, we can download it as PDF, PowerPoint, as a video, JPEG, PNG, and so on and so forth.